Captain, before we step onto this life and destiny island, tell me, what does born make you feel when it means brought into life, naturally suited for something, and beginning to exist or take shape in a certain time or place? Meaning 1. Brought into life, coming into the world at birth. Used for the moment when a person or animal begins life. Example: she was born on a stormy night near the coast. Common use: born in, born on, newly born. Born tonight. Meaning 2. Naturally suited, gifted, or made for something. Used when someone seems to have a natural talent or special ability. Example: he was born to guide ships through difficult waters. Common use: born leader, born teacher, born to do something. Born to lead. Meaning 3. Beginning to exist, grow or take shape. Used for ideas, movements, plans, or hopes that start to form. Example: a new plan was born during the long meeting at sea. Common use: born from hope, born in crisis, newly born idea. Born from ideas. Born most commonly refers to coming into life, but it is also widely used in figurative ways. It can describe natural talent, as in someone who seems made for a role, or the beginning of an idea, plan, or movement. Honour every beginning, Captain. Carry born for the first breath of life, for the gifts that seem written into the soul, and for the new ideas that rise into the world and shape the journey ahead as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this clarity and limit island, tell me, what does certain make you feel when it means sure and without doubt, specific but not fully named, and limited to particular people, things, or conditions? Meaning 1. Sure, confident, without doubt. Used when someone knows something firmly or when something is clearly true. Example: she was certain that the tide would turn before noon. Common use: certain of, certain that, feel certain. Certain of the tide. Meaning 2. Specific, but not fully named or explained. Used when speaking about a particular person, thing, or detail without stating exactly which one. Example: a certain sailor always leaves a lantern by the gate. Common use: a certain person, a certain place, a certain time. A certain lantern. Meaning 3. Limited to particular people, things, situations, or conditions. Used when something applies only in some cases and not to everything or everyone. Example: only certain boats can enter the narrow channel safely. Common use: certain conditions, certain people, certain types. Certain boats only. Certain often means being sure or confident, but it can also mean a specific person or thing that is not fully named. In another common use, it refers to a limited group or set, such as certain people or certain conditions. Choose your path with clarity, Captain. Carry certain for the confidence that leaves no doubt, for the unnamed detail quietly understood, and for the careful limits that apply only in special cases as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this cover and limit island, tell me, what does cap make you feel when it means a soft hat, a cover placed on the top of something, and a limit that cannot be exceeded? Meaning 1. A soft hat that covers the head. Used for a simple hat, often with a rounded shape, or a front part that shades the eyes. Example: he pulled his cap down before walking into the strong sun. Common use: baseball cap, wear a cap, take off your cap. Sea cap. Meaning 2. A cover or top placed on something. Used for the top piece that closes or protects a bottle, pen, container, or similar object. Example: she put the cap back on the bottle after filling the lamp. Common use: bottle cap, pen cap, put the cap on. Cap on bottle. Meaning 3. A limit or maximum amount that cannot be exceeded. Used for a highest level allowed in money, numbers, spending, or other measured things. Example: the harbour placed a cap on the number of boats allowed inside. Common use: spending cap, price cap, cap on numbers. Boat cap limit. Cap most commonly means a soft hat, but it is also very common for the top cover of a bottle, pen, or container. In more formal or practical contexts, it can mean a limit or maximum amount, such as a spending cap or price cap. Top each moment with clarity, Captain. Carry cap for the hat that shields the head, for the cover that keeps things closed and safe, and for the limit that marks where more cannot go as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this body and front island, tell me, what does breast make you feel when it means the front part of the human body, above the stomach, the chest or front part of a bird or animal, and the front or rising edge of something like waves or land? Meaning 1. The front part of the human body above the stomach. Used for the chest area, especially when speaking about the body in a careful or medical way. Example: she placed a hand on her breast and took a slow breath. Common use: breast pain, breast pocket, breastbone. Breast care. Meaning 2. The chest or front part of a bird or animal. Used for the front body area of birds and some animals. Example: the white bird lifted its breast proudly in the morning light. Common use: bird's breast, white breast, broad breast. White breast bird. Meaning 3. The front or rising edge of something, especially a wave or slope. used in literary or descriptive language for the front part of a wave, hill, or moving force. Example: the boat climbed the breast of the wave before dropping again. Common use: breast of a wave, breast of a hill, breast the storm. Breast of wave. Breast most often refers to the front upper part of the human body, but it is also commonly used for the front chest area of birds and animals. In more literary or descriptive English, it can mean the front or rising part of something such as a wave or hill. Read the body, the creature, and the moving world with care, Captain. Carry breast for the human chest, for the proud front of a bird or animal, and for the rising front edge of sea and land as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this strange and surprising island, tell me, what does bizarre make you feel when it means very strange or unusual, oddly mixed in appearance or style, and surprising in a way that feels hard to explain or believe? Meaning 1. Very strange or unusual. Used for something that feels far from normal or expected. Example: a bizarre sound came from the empty lighthouse at midnight. Common use: bizarre event, bizarre story, bizarre behavior. Bizarre sound. Meaning 2. Oddly mixed, unusual, or strange in appearance or style. Used for things that look unusual because different parts, colours, or ideas do not seem to belong together. Example: the room had a bizarre mix of sailor maps, gold mirrors, and jungle plants. Common use: bizarre outfit, bizarre design, bizarre mixture. Bizarre design. Meaning 3. So strange or surprising that it feels difficult to explain or believe. Used for events or situations that seem almost unreal because they are so unexpected. Example: it was bizarre that the boat returned with no one on board. Common use: bizarre situation, bizarre result, bizarre coincidence. Bizarre return. Bizarre is a strong word for something very strange, unusual, or hard to explain. It can describe appearance, behavior, events, or situations that feel far outside the normal. The word often carries surprise and sometimes even discomfort because the thing described seems so unexpected or unnatural. Keep your eyes open for the unexpected, Captain. Carry bizarre for the deeply strange, for the oddly mixed and unusual, and for the shocking moments that feel almost impossible to explain as we sail to the next island.